Never seen a lame man walk. Never heard a dumb man talk. Never seen a blind man see. I promise you will change his name. Never seen a canceled debt. Never seen all the poor get fed. Never seen a prisoner set free. I promise you will change his name. Made whole. Never seen an orphan find a home. Never seen the weak find the strength. I promise you will change his name. Never seen the sick get healed. Never seen a mystery revealed. Never seen a death man raised. I promise you will change his name.
Hey everybody! Welcome after a week off. Welcome to the Big C and Bigger T podcast. We're rested up and we're raring to go. I'm raring to go. Clint Clark, my co-host, my best friend, my partner in crime. Are you ready to go?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to leave. No, I'm just kidding. I'm ready to go.
All
Let's
right,
do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
We got lots to talk about, man. We got 2 weeks worth of Razorback stuff.
Man, and we're a lot of times we're just, we're like, oh man, are we going to be interested enough to talk for an hour? And trust me, when you're doing a podcast with Travis, talking for an hour is not a problem.
That's not a problem.
Sometimes all you got to do is shut up. He's a
right.
preacher. He gets long-winded. It happens.
That's right. I just let me roll, baby. Let me roll.
Let me tell you, significant life event happened this week, Travis. I've realized I'm getting old. I didn't.
No,
I did. Okay, 2 things. Number 1, I hurt that muscle behind my shoulder blade. And you know what I was doing when it hurt? I was sitting in my recliner, and it was. I'm gonna tear today. I'm up on you, and I'm good. I'm good. So I've been miserable all week. Just that stupid. The muscle I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's just miserable. You can't lay down. You can't. It just it sucks.
Yeah.
So literally, I was sitting in my recliner when it happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I wasn't doing anything. I was.
Just all of a sudden,
it's bad.
Yeah.
Now this right here may be the most significant sign. Is what I've been doing lately is every night I go outside and I sit on the porch.
Yeah.
And I just wait on. I've got a bunch of solar powered lights out there, and I just want to see the order they come on. I just want to see. I'm gonna miss it tonight because I'm recording the podcast with you. But that's what I've been doing, literally every I'm officially a.
Let's be honest. That's why we didn't record last week.
Yeah, I've canceled.
Clint didn't want to miss the lights.
It's just it's so. It's I've got it all.
Man, that's it's the simple pleasures in life, Clint.
It really is. It's
you got your house, you got your little piece of land.
Yeah.
You got your little farm going in. You got a peacock, for crying out loud.
You get a peacock.
How's the peacock doing?
The peacock is good. We tried to get them out of the coop, this week let them out, but we kept having trouble with the calves and everything trying to go in. And so it just wasn't going to work out. We're going to have to wait till we get the cattle in the pasture, and then, which should be soon.
Yeah.
Soon, but yeah. So.
That's wild stuff, man.
I know.
Awesome.
I grew up doing this,
Yeah.
It's weird. You're a kid and you hate something.
Yeah.
And now you're an adult. You're like,
then you start doing it. Yeah.
You start doing it, and it's on a very small scale. It's if every animal I have out there dies, it's not going to run my fiscal year.
Well, we're not heartless. You know.
Yeah, I'd be sad too.
You'd be sad. You'd be a sad. You'd be a sad panda.
I would be. I'd be like, but yeah. So it just now that I'm an adult, I'm just loving doing it. Just absolutely loving doing it, and hated doing my kid. But now that I'm an old man, I'm like, I see.
Yeah. Well, good deal.
Yeah.
Well, so for Holy Shnikes this week, you tell me you have something you wanted
I have something, and I
to lay on me surprise.
I took a picture of it. Let's see if it's I've had to get a new phone because my phone's been doing the ghost touch thing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, right there it is. Right there it is. Can you read that, Travis? Whoops, upside down. It was backwards on my screen. I'll read it. You've earned a top fan badge for Hometown Roofing LLC and can accept it now. I'm officially a top fan of Hometown Roofing.
Man.
I mean, look.
That's big time.
You tell me, you name a better friend than Clint Clark. I bet you can't do it.
Can't do it.
I'm a top fan of Hometown Roofing.
Hey, is that going to go on the mantle next to the Worcester 3-on-3 basketball tournament trophy?
Yeah, there's a few things that that I'm going to cherish forever. There's Worcester 3-on-3 basketball tournament, winning the Gulf South Conference at Arkansas Tech University.
Yeah.
That time I invented fire.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember. Were you there for that one?
I don't know if I was there for that one.
No, I invented fire. It happened.
Okay.
And amongst others, other just momentous accomplishments of my life.
Yeah.
My children being born.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those. Yeah, that's important.
But nothing. I do. Like I'm telling you right now, my body was already telling me it's going downhill. It's downhill from here. Top fan, Hometown Roofing.
That's right.
It gets no better. And by the way, if you need a roof, they'll come out, they'll look at it for you for free. No obligation to buy.
They'll bring their own ladder.
Yep, he will. Robert will take care of you.
That's right.
He'll take care of you, that's as the kids say, no cap on that one.
Hey, and if you get if he sends Jason Hughes out there, he might bring his old truck.
Okay. Now he was out of that old truck, wasn't he? He was driving on the strip one time and the what was it? The drive shaft fell out.
Something like that, yeah.
So just one of the things, like, I'm so happy we've come a long ways.
He's got it fixed up nice now.
Yeah, we've all come a long ways from driving vehicles at the drive shaft.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Brings back memories right there.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
That's a good Holy Shnikes moment. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
Here's another just general one that that others may have heard about it. I don't guess you've heard about it. You didn't.
I haven't. I told you.
I guess it was last week sometime. In a minor league game, the let's see, Rocket City Trash Pandas, which is up there with one of the best names in
that's pretty good.
Minor league baseball, the Trash Pandas, which would be a raccoon, I guess, that's right? They'd be the raccoons.
Yep.
So yeah. We're playing Chattanooga. I don't know what Chattanooga's mascot is. Well, the Trash Pandas pitched a no-hitter.
Oh man, that's always a good win.
No-hitter. Way to go, Trash Pandas.
Good win, guys.
Whoa.
What?
No, they didn't win.
But the other thing, they didn't even get any hits.
No hits. Nope. Chattanooga got no hits.
0 hits.
0 hits.
Game with no hits.
No hits.
Okay, well, a game with no hits.
but they still scored 7 runs.
How in the world they scored 7 runs, Travis?
They Chattanooga won the game.
You're pulling
in a 7-inning game because it was the first game of a doubleheader. 7-5. And most of those runs, I don't have the details, but most of those runs were scored in 1 inning. Just some bad pitches. I guess the pitches were so bad they couldn't hit them. like it's one thing to get a no-hitter, man. You're throwing up, man. You're throwing phasers up there, dude. You're throwing just man. You're keeping the ball low, and you're throwing breaking balls, and man, you're painting the plate up there, and guys just can't catch up with it. You're changing speeds, and man, you're just you just have the other team's number, right? And then there's the trash pandas and the way they do it. apparently, Clint, they do it. Have I ever told you about my one pitching outing in baseball ever?
No, you haven't, and I can't wait.
Well, I mean, I didn't have much of a baseball career.
No,
as you can imagine, baseball was never my forte.
No.
Well, I was playing in Clinton, and we had a team. We were terrible. We lost every game, but we still got to go to Pizza Hut after we played. So that's all.
You know what? And that's something else about Clinton. I think, honest to goodness, I don't know. There may be. Maybe we could research this. I think Clinton has the only Pizza Hut left that you can sit down and eat
in. Well, probably so. And I look, if it hadn't been for Pizza Hut, I never would have read a book. And the Pizza Hut Book It program. Okay, free personal pan pizza for every book you read. And I learned how to cheat on reading books. Okay. So anyway,
read the books.
Anyway, I learned how to pass the quizzes to say I read the books, and I got a lot of little personal pan pepperoni pizzas. But anyway, so I'd been begging my coach to let me pitch. I wanted to pitch, and he let me pitch in practice, and I did terrible. But I could throw. For that age, I threw kind of hard, but not real hard. Throwing's never really been my.
So you didn't actually get to pitch in a game. You got to pitch in practice.
No. He put me in a game.
Oh, okay.
We needed 1 out.
Right. And who you going to call on? The big Roddy.
Here I come in. Baby.
I'm
ready to roll.
Flowing, mullet flowing.
I'm ready to roll, baby. Yeah, that's like, right. I had my little white boy mullet / afro going on. Curls.
Looks like a juicy permed mullet is what it looks
curls like. Coming out of under my hat. Yeah. Probably had my pants up to my, past my belly button because my mom dressed me. And had the stirrup socks on. Man, I was ready.
Nothing else matters other than you're gonna hose this guy down.
I'm about to throw some heat. Heat.
Phasers.
Dude. Need 1 out.
You lock in, you're on the mountain, you locked in, you make eyes with
locked in, dude. Locked in, baby.
You're clear the mechanism.
And Clint, I got that out.
Oh, awesome.
9 batters later.
How did you walk?
I walked them all the way around. like the worst kid in our town. like I wasn't a high draft pick. This kid was like the worst draft pick. Okay.
Right.
I finally struck him out. And he just swung at everything. like he just it wasn't because he didn't strike out looking. Because if he would have been looking, then I would have walked him probably too. I hit a couple people.
Yeah.
My ERA was probably 6,004, something like that.
Carry the 2, yeah, checks out.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so yeah, my I don't know why I didn't get drafted. I don't understand. I don't understand.
I've played catch with you and played catch with Greg Montgomery, and
yeah,
both of you are hard to catch. Both of you are hard to catch for completely different.
Yeah. It's
He's
bad
hard
when
to
you
catch because he throws hard. You're hard to catch because you don't know where it's going.
That's right. I got that Chuck Knobloch style. Like, remember when he got the yips and he couldn't throw from second base to first? Yeah. That's me. Like I could throw. Man, I'd be throwing perfect. I can be just throwing right in your glove, man, right at your chest. The next thing I'm doing, I'm throwing it and it's going over your head.
Rick Ankiel pitched for the Cardinals, was like supposed to be the next great lefty in baseball.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he couldn't throw strikes anymore.
Yeah. And ends up coming back and being a great outfielder.
Yeah, great outfielder.
Yeah.
But, hey, no, Travis, when you got that last out, did you celebrate?
Dude, I did. I seriously did. Because I was it was sad. Like the fans are like, oh, like all the parents are like, Coach, pull him out.
He finally did it.
Put us all out of our misery. This kid's terrible. I should have started throwing underhanded. I'm much better at that.
Yeah, just float it. Like Ricky of the Year, like float it.
You know what's bad, Clint? This is me hacking on myself here, right?
Okay, yeah.
So that's my baseball pitching, right?
Okay, yeah.
And now I did a little pitching in softball too.
Yeah.
Okay. And I could throw strikes in softball. I could throw strikes.
You were actually, we played in some little Halloween tournament or something.
I mean, I played in some tournaments and I could pitch, right? But here was my problem. I was you know how many times I had people come up to me after facing me in softball after they had hit a home run off of me, and they would say, that was my first home run ever. Like I was a good batting practice pitcher.
Yeah.
like I was throwing meatballs, man.
I mean, but how do you really throw for strikes in soft pitch softball to get somewhere?
I don't know. There was something about my pitches that people just teed off on.
Yeah.
I'd be up there like just throwing meat, man. We played down here in Camden. I put another guy in one time, and he would pitch in practice some when I would hit, and he was terrible, but he could at least get strikes sometimes, but his pitches were kind of bad, but the other team wouldn't hit off him like they would me. Yeah. And when the other team's saying, why aren't you out there pitching, Travis?
Pitching better.
When they get excited when you're pitching, that's not a good thing. Not a good thing. And I'd be out there trying to change my spins and stuff. I do back spin, I do front spin, I do side spin. No, I'm no Brady Tiger. I can't do it.
Yeah, you're not the spin cycle.
The spin cycle.
You'll be coming back. So now the reason I ask you about the celebration is because I know I sent it to you on Instagram and you'd seen it right beforehand.
Yeah.
But I got to talk about the Florida Georgia series.
Oh.
Where the pitcher, and he did, and I watched him get thrown. I watched the celebration.
Yeah.
Was it a little over the top? Yes. Is it like a, hey, kid, knock this off?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Like, man, dial it in a notch. I mean, even if you'd been warned, it still wasn't objectionable to me.
Yeah.
They tossed him.
Yeah. For those of y'all that didn't see it, a Florida pitcher got a strikeout. And as he was going back, he kind of celebrated it. And the umpire tossed him. And so his teammate, go ahead, Clint.
Yeah, his teammate gets up. I don't know what the situation is, but it's a grand slam.
Yeah.
Now, you got these teams that they do like they started doing like the turnover helmet or turnover whatever thing with the home runs. Like Tennessee last year had the daddy hat.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Arkansas had like a hog hat or something, or like a fist hat, or just they do ridiculous things, but you celebrate. The guy just knows so that he just walked around the base. Yeah. I mean, he ran the bases. And then
when he got to home plate, like I think they got a rule now they can't meet him at home plate.
Yeah,
like his teammates can't or something.
Right.
And so, but they can wait for him outside the dugout. And when he got to the outside the dugout, he was walking like a mall walker, just like he was speed walking with his hands down to his side. And
he wouldn't high five anybody.
He wouldn't high five anybody. He didn't even look at anybody. He just kind of just walked straight ahead. It was so stinking funny.
The greatest. I mean, it's a middle finger to the umpire.
Yeah, it was so
like,
funny.
oh no, we ain't having fun today. We are sorry, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just. I mean, it is the best. Even if I was the umpire, I would have chuckled.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, you just got shown up, but in the best way. Like that was.
Yeah.
I don't know who that kid is, but that was brilliant. He'd be the only Florida player I would have on this podcast.
That's right. That's right. Just asking about that. Well, Clint, we got to talk about the big weekend up in Fayetteville. There was a
lot going on.
There was a lot going on, man, and it was a lot of positive stuff too.
Yeah,
because you had
spring ball.
Well, you had spring football, the spring game, spring scrimmage game, whatever it was. You had the Tennessee baseball series. You had softball against UAB, where they got the sweep. We're not going to talk about that. Where they got a sweep against them. I think volleyball was playing. I mean, you had tennis going. You had all kinds of stuff going. But let's talk about football first.
Right.
Both of us watched the scrimmage. What were your key takeaways?
Well, I was going to ask you first before we do that. How'd you like the format? Just scrimmaging. We're just going to work. We're going to basically show up. We're going to practice. We're not going to play a real game.
That's fine. I mean, whatever they want to do. I mean, until it's not going to be fan friendly. It's not unless they do, like I've asked, like I've proposed on here, bring in another team, practice together for a week, do a game on that Saturday, unless they do something like that in the future, then that would be made for TV. But the way they're doing it now, pretty much nerds like us, or just, or people that just want, are just craving some football and wanting to see some of the young guys. But really, what did we see? You're not tackling any of the quarterbacks. I think they said that the defense had 10 sacks. They didn't get 10 sacks. I mean, maybe they may have had 2 sacks, if it was a real game.
Criswell threw a touchdown that would have been a touchdown, but he got touched.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw a bomb and it looked good.
Yeah.
Here, my couple thoughts on the format was, I will tell you this. Now, of course, I played college football. Have I ever told you that?
Did you play? You played college?
I didn't play. No, I didn't play. I mean, I played. I was on the team. But that being said, the reason I say that, because as a player, we always look forward to the spring game.
Yeah.
You'd always would. You would. But now, is that what Arkansas fans want to see? You just want to see how everybody looks.
Well, and if I had a complaint about it, if I had any complaints about it, I would say make it more fun for the players. Like, let them pick their teams.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Make it more about the players than what you had. Because this was just, like you said, it was just a glorified. It was inviting the family over for practice. So I guess, if nothing else, if you're going to do it, I kind of like it when let the seniors kind of pick the teams or something like that. And
that's what Coach Mullins did. We did a senior pick. And I just remember the year before, I just told Jimbo, I was like, please be sure I'm not picked last.
Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah. I'm like one of the next to last. Please just make sure I'm not last. Oh. And I don't know. He told me, we got you and another guy. I'm sure we're the last 2 picks.
Yeah.
No, but that being said, what you want to see, this team has got a bunch of people fighting for spots.
Yeah.
You're going to have 3 new starters on the offensive line. It just is what it is. I mean, no matter which way you look at it, unless for some reason Luke Jones decided, hey, you know what, I'm gonna come back and play next year.
Yeah, no.
But, we had Cam Ball in here and said Luke's just done with football.
Yeah,
he's done his time. He's done with it. I'm sure he's got his degree and he's going to start. He's looking for that next phase of his life. But the two things I like, you really want to see who plays first. Is I want to see who they tried out the first 5 on the offensive line. And you want to see who the quarterback goes first too. But Arkansas does not have a quarterback battle.
No.
Now, that being said, I thought Jacoby Criswell looked really good. Really good.
Hey, besides the 2 fumbles, Malachi Singleton looked pretty dang good too.
What?
And the best ball thrown all day was by Cade Fortner.
Yeah. I do think the best, but I think Jacoby is the clear-cut number 2 right now.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I think he proved it. And that's what Pittman said. Do I think Jacoby can go win an SEC game for us right now? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, and I agree with that.
He looks confident out there.
Yeah. The quarterback situation is so much better than it was.
Yeah.
So much better than it was. I mean, it's night and day different.
Yeah.
But that being said, is you still have KJ Jefferson.
Yeah.
It's a new offense, but you have KJ Jefferson.
Yeah.
KJ looked good, man. KJ's just good.
Yeah. And he looked comfortable in the offense.
He did.
And then in the press conferences, he's saying all the right things about the offense. Yeah. And about learning it and Enos and everything. I think
he wants to prove he can play in the NFL. I mean, that's what he wants to. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you want to prove, and you're in an NFL offense.
Yep. Well, and one of the things, folks, here's we're not normally, I call us a fan podcast, right?
Right.
I would say we're not necessarily experts or whatever, but I will teach you a little football here, and so most of you know this probably, maybe you don't. The difference in Briles' offense and Enos' offense for the quarterback. The quarterback doesn't really have to do anything in Briles' offense. There's not much responsibility besides making the throw that Briles tells him to throw. It's the same with the Chad Morris offense, same with the Gus Malzahn's offense. That's why they've done so well, and that's why they don't do well. Those quarterbacks don't do as well in the pros a lot of times, because the coach, if you remember, they don't huddle. So they get out there, they get lined up. The coach on the sideline reads the defense and then makes the call for the quarterback they make the call from the sideline on where the main reads are for the quarterback. So he's picking out who the Mike linebacker is, where the strong side, the weak side is. He's looking for all those different things. He's looking for where the blitz is might be coming from. He's looking for all that. He's doing that from the sideline for the quarterback, and the quarterback doesn't have that responsibility. Well, in Enos' offense, Enos is teaching the quarterback to do that. And so KJ Jefferson is now going out, and the first thing he's doing, he's identifying the middle linebacker and seeing where he's lined up. Then he's going to see where things are lined up from there going out. And according to what side of the field he's going to, and according to where the play is being ran. If it's a running play, how the front is. If it's a pass play, where the defensive backs are lined up. He's seeing where the safeties are. What kind of coverage they're in. He's having to read all that kind of stuff, and he's not got a coach giving him sign language telling him what to read. Okay. That is going to prepare KJ better for the pros, and going to make him a lot more comfortable out there on the field himself. Now it's going to slow him down. They're not going to go as fast. It's not going to be left lane hammer down. Okay. Yeah. But it's going to make KJ such a better quarterback, and it's going to make him a better pro quarterback. And that's why KJ is so excited. That was the selling point for KJ coming back under Enos, I think. Yeah. Is he's learning to be a better NFL quarterback. And that was a selling point, I think, for Criswell to come here. Because Criswell wants to be a pro quarterback too.
I mean, who doesn't? I'd love to be a pro quarterback. I mean, you don't because you can't throw, but
that's true. Yeah.
So, and that being said, the reason I'm interested in those two things: who the starting offensive line is, and I think it's more important to be number one on the offensive line than it is to be number one on the defensive line. Because they rotate on the defense. Offensive line does not rotate in or out.
No.
They do not. I mean, if you are in for the entire game. You can be second string tight end, you're going to get plenty playing time. Running back, wide receiver, anything on the field except for quarterback and offensive line, you don't rotate.
Yeah.
You may have one
guy. And while we're giving our expertise out, Clint, why is that?
I have no idea. Other than I just thought it's because Coach didn't like me. No, I'm not. I mean, obviously the quarterback's a no-brainer, but I guess you can just get that rhythm, and them big guys get going, and they don't want to bring them out.
Well, no, an offensive line has to work together to block, especially with the blocking schemes like we have nowadays, with zone blocking, and because you have double teams, you have combo blocks, you have blocks where you what's it called, where you just you kind of hit somebody and then go off on a linebacker or whatever.
Oh, and you do get
you have there's a lot more working together than there is on defense. On defensive line, you do have some stunts and twists and things like that where you got to work together a little bit, but that's just going to a gap and how you get to that gap. And so you can work with whoever's out there because they know if I'm lined up as a 3 technique and I need to get to the C gap, then and I need to do a twist to do it, then I'm going to go with this route to get there. It doesn't matter who's at defensive end. But on offensive line, you work together with that guy. You're communicating that offensive line when they get out there. And that's the other thing. KJ Jefferson, when he gets out there and he's reading, the reason he's reading all those things, he's telling those offensive linemen some of their calls. And that center, it's usually the center, but sometimes it's another offensive lineman, is making calls for the offensive line. So on what their blocking scheme is going to be according to how the defense is lined up.
No, and I think that's why it's a good thing. You got Limmerback, who was a starting guard last year. He's transitioned to center.
If we're not careful, Clint, we may sound smart on this episode.
I don't know. I just said I don't know why it's not important. I've never thought about it. But I mean, but I also know well enough to know, like, hey, those are the two positions. They don't rotate. At all. Back up. But so Latham, I believe, is playing left guard. He's kind of look like he's just locked in there. Like, okay, we like him at left guard.
Yeah.
And then Limmer's at center. So, like I said, 3, and everybody thought Takese Crawford, he was going to get a starting spot. He didn't start the spring game, and I'm not saying that he's not going to end up starting because they didn't set the depth chart in stone by any stretch of the time.
No.
But if you get tried out there first, you're tried out there first for a reason. And it's pretty easy to see who the first team is because it's the one with KJ Jefferson.
Yeah.
So I sent you this, and so I'm not stealing my Google for the episode. But they started Devin Emmanuel at left tackle.
Yeah.
Which he was the first guy out there. And I mentioned to you, if this would have been quarterback, it'd have been a big deal because they had Chambly listed as the number 2 left tackle all last year. Then he could have been banged up. Who knows what the situation was. But if you noticed, like the first guy out in the Auburn game that was playing left tackle was Manuel.
Yeah.
I think he's a sophomore from Louisiana. But he got out there. Braun, is it Josh Braun?
Yeah, he's the one from Florida, and he wants to play guard.
And he started off at right guard.
Yeah, they put him at tackle once, and it was kind of a big deal this spring because he said, I think part of him coming here was Florida tried to play him at tackle, and he didn't want to play tackle.
Yeah.
He doesn't like being out there on the edge. He likes being in the middle. So I think they're going to do everything they can to keep him at a guard position, and that right guard's the one that's open.
Well, and Pittman said you figure out your tackles, then you figure out your center, then you figure out your guard. I'm not saying guard's not important.
Yeah.
But, well, then, and I don't think he's had that many practices out there, but Patrick Kutas started off at right tackle. And Pittman was talking about how he shot his way up the depth chart. And I kept an eye on him quite a bit. That boy's good.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
I guess he played in every game last year, so he's going to be a true sophomore.
And he's one that Landon Jackson has talked a lot about. That's been a tough one to go against. The other guys have talked about him. He's strong. That's one of the things they always say about him. He's a really strong guy. And so that right tackle was kind of a fit for that. Usually that's your stronger, sort of a bully tackle guy, run behind Eric Williams, Sean Andrews, that's the kind of position they play a lot.
Yeah. And on the second team, you saw Chamblee, Co Carson, Josh Street playing center, who's DJ Crane's nephew.
Yeah.
He and DJ Crane roomed together one semester in college.
Yeah.
One semester. Put up with me longer than that. Marion Harris and Tykees Crawford.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I really do. I don't see anybody beating Kutas out at right tackle. I think you can probably go ahead and write that one in ink.
Yeah.
He impressed me that much.
Yeah.
He really did. The only way he won't be the starting right tackle is if they decide to put him out in left tackle.
Yeah.
And Pittman was talking about him, how he's increased his value to NFL scouts because he plays center too.
Yeah.
He said he can play center. So anyway,
other positions
offensive line there for you.
Now, other positions we need to talk about, of course, that we're worried about. Okay, the biggest concerns. Another one is receiver, and I thought we saw some good things from. We didn't see a whole lot from Tesla, but what we did see, we liked. I think.
Yeah.
Armstrong looked pretty good a couple times. He got the ball thrown his way. Satanga, though, looked really good.
Yeah, it looked really good.
He's added some weight. Of course, we knew he had speed, but he looked really, really good out there. And that you could tell the coaches were happy with him because they put him out as one of the players to meet with the press afterwards.
Yeah.
So he, that was kind of the first time I think we've seen that with him. And you could tell he was happy to be there. We're just going to need to see some of those guys step up. Mbake. We got Jared Wilson's injured right now. Bolden, I think, is the big tall guy. He's injured right now. The transfer. You hear Trey Biddy talk. He thinks Tesla's going to be the go-to guy. He's going to be the go-to guy. Tight end, Luke Haas, I think everybody thinks is going to end up being the tight end. But Washington looks pretty good also. Had that.
Shamar Easter going to be coming in too that hasn't made it to campus.
That's right. You got Shamar Easter still in high school. He's going to graduate in May, and so he'll be coming up this summer, and he'll have his chance to get with the tight ends. It's going to be who buddies up with KJ the most, I think. Who really, becomes KJ's best friend. Because they're going to have a chance to be used in this offense because I think Enos is going to use them. He's more of a tight end guy. So we'll see there. But I think the receivers, it's still, it's the proof's going to be in the pudding with them. Okay, we don't really. I don't think we really know what we have for sure, because those guys still going to have to prove themselves on the field and prove that they get some camaraderie with the quarterbacks, with KJ. So
Yeah,
I think they will. I think they will. I think there's talent there.
When Pittman was talking about how, like, it was, if you're an athlete, that light come on at some point.
Yeah.
You out there, just you look, okay, I got this figured out.
Yeah.
So I've never experienced that as an athlete, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, other phases of life, every now and then you're like, oh,
yeah,
okay, like this is, and you could tell it's just like, okay, he's got it figured out, and he's going to be for as speedy as he is and as big as arm as KJ has. They could end up doing some awesome things together.
Yeah.
Not say Tesla can't. I think Tesla is going to make a lot of the hard catches.
Yeah.
The go get it catches. Like, hey, fight for this ball. So it's going to be interesting to see, because KJ he didn't seem to have a go-to last year.
No.
He kind of spread it around. And so where the year before is like, man, screw it, Drake. Trey Lyons down there somewhere.
That's right. Yeah. He's got 4 people on him. Who cares?
Yeah. Like, throw it.
Just
throw it. But so, and the defensive line impressed me.
Yeah. The defensive end, we're fine.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about defensive end at all. In fact, defensive end, I think, is the strongest position we have on the field.
Yeah.
Besides KJ. Besides KJ.
Running back's pretty good too.
Yeah, running back's pretty good too. Sorry. And going back to running back, I'm excited. I think AJ Green is going to have a good year too.
Yeah.
I like what I saw from him. I've always kind of liked him. And I think we're going to see more from him.
You know what I really feel about how Sam Pittman feels about this team?
What's that?
Real walking aside is, okay, we're good enough in personnel. We don't have to play gimmicky football now.
Yeah.
We don't have to do a shell defense. We've got a good enough team. Yeah. You feel real good about your defensive front. You feel real good.
Yeah, and going back to that, the defensive front is good enough that the biggest worry on the whole team, the biggest negative on the whole team, is the defensive backs.
Yeah.
But a good defensive front with a pass rush and getting pressure can make some weak defensive backs look a lot better. And so that's our only hope right there. Because right now we need to add some people at defensive backs. I mean, we got the transfers in from Baylor. We're hoping they'll do well. We got to figure out a nickel back. We got to figure out. We're still, if you hear people talk, they're still probably looking for a safety in the transfer portal. They're still going to look for that. Going back to D-line, they got the big defensive lineman from Maryland.
What is? Yeah. Tank. Where's on your next Tank? You're a big dude.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that makes me like him, Clint, is the fact that you got to think Dan Enos knows him pretty well.
Yeah.
And you got to think Enos is saying, "Yeah, Sam, go get him. He's a good one." And so that makes you feel good about that pickup. The fact that you're not just getting somebody because of a tape. Plus, he's what, 6'2", 6'4", something like that, 320.
The monster is what he is.
He's a big dude, and so that'll be a good pickup. But I'll tell you who I'm excited about for this team.
Okay, you tell me.
And that's Greer.
Yeah, he looked good
at linebacker. I'm excited about him, Clint. I think I'm not just excited about him because of his play on the field. I think he's going to be a great locker room guy. I think he's going to end up being a fan favorite. I think he's going to be I think he's going to be something special for this team. I really do. I just have that feeling, man. I watched one press conference with him, and I was smitten. I was like, okay, this dude's good. This guy's going to be good. And hearing the way other players are talking about him and what he's brought to the team and what he's brought to the locker room and what he's brought to the linebacker room, he's a humble guy. He's come in saying, look, he said Pooh and, those guys, they've been here. I'm not trying to come in, take over just because I'm a little older. He said, but he said, I'm just trying to make them better. And that's the right attitude. But I think all of them are seeing that he's a leader and then respecting the fact that he's a leader. And I think he's going to end up being the leader of this defense, both on and off the field. So a lot of good things for the football team. Now,
I'm really excited. Are you more excited or less excited after the spring game?
I'm a little it just confirmed the things I was already excited about. Of course, I was hearing reports about practice and stuff like that. And so, I mean, it just confirmed what I was hearing. I mean, and that tells you that people like Trey Biddy and others that are watching practice are giving you good reports, because everything I was hearing that they were talking about people matched up with what I saw Saturday, And so I don't know if I got more excited, maybe a little more excited just because I love football.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what made me more excited, Clint, is I took a trip on the old interwebs, and I looked up the schedule for next year.
Yeah. Dude, it is so nice to see schedule difficulty and being towards the bottom of the SEC.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first two games, we got Western Carolina and Kent State.
Yeah.
Okay. Two games that you should be able to.
You consider them rental wins, or however you want to say.
But especially with two new coordinators, you should be able to get all your calls down. You should work out all your bugs, for the new, the new language for the offense, new language for the defense. You should be able to work all that out, okay? And then your first big game is BYU coming to town, right? A game that you should be confident going into because you beat them last year at their place. And so you should be able to be pretty confident to beat them at home, right? But it's going to be a solid team, so it'll be a team that tests you a little bit. And, it should test you more than those first two games do.
Yeah.
But then we hit a gauntlet, Clint.
Yeah.
Because then we hit LSU, A&M.
Okay, stop right there. How do you think things will be at A&M at this point?
Dude, I don't know.
Here's the thing.
You think Bobby and Jimbo will just get in a fist fight on the sideline?
It's either by then they are going to figure it out.
Yeah.
They're going to figure it out and they're going to coexist, and it's going to be magic.
Yeah.
Either that or the internet's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think they can coexist.
Yeah.
I really don't. I really, really don't.
You think there'll be some memes out there of making faces at each other or something?
Oh yeah, it was gonna be. I mean, you saw how Jimbo acted about Nick Saban.
Yeah,
and how he threw a big old tantrum, and then you see how Bobby Petrino is. It's. I don't think it's going to go well there. I really don't. I think it's going to get off the rails at A&M. I mean, they're already unhappy.
Yeah.
And I don't see it getting better. I really, really don't.
It very well could, but it could be, man, it could be a difficult game too. Because you saw what Bobby did with Missouri State coming in here.
Yeah, it could be. It very well could be.
Yeah.
It could be. Yeah, they had a 4-star quarterback from 2022 hit the portal today. He said something like, "Leaving wasn't my choice."
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so
Sorry.
you got A&M, which is you got LSU on the road, A&M neutral site, Ole Miss on the road, Alabama on the road. That is a gauntlet.
That's a rough stretch.
That's a rough stretch right there. So you need those first 3 games to get ready for that. Okay. Then you have, I forget the order, but then you have like Mississippi State, which who knows how they'll be.
Yeah, it's going to be different to see how Will Rogers is in a different offense.
Yeah. And I'm not wanting to go through every, we ain't got to talk about every game on the schedule right now, but I'm just kind of giving an overview of it. But then you got them, Auburn. Somewhere in there where you have a bye week.
Yeah.
Around Thanksgiving time. And then you have FIU coming to town.
Right before Missouri, yeah.
And then you play Missouri. So you got sort of a get right game before you play Missouri, which I like. It's if you want Missouri to be a rivalry game, you got a chance to, sort of give some guys a, hopefully play, that FIU game should be, okay, boys, let's go out, get a good lead. You're going to play a half, then you're going to play one series in the second quarter, and then we're putting in the backups.
Yeah. It definitely should be one of those like, hey, here's one of your 4 red shirt games.
Yeah, that should be one of those. But anyway, that schedule, Clint, is much more friendly than the gauntlet we had last year.
For sure.
The nonstop gauntlet we had last year. And I think the nonstop gauntlet we had last year was one of the reasons this team struggled, and one of the reasons they had the internal struggles they had was because it was difficult for them. It was tough.
Well, the team couldn't win without KJ.
Yeah.
I mean, they just couldn't. And I think this year with Jacoby, and I think even with Singleton, because Singleton did some good things.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, we're so much better at quarterback. But anyway, there was more than just football on the field this weekend, Travis.
Yeah, I know.
So 2 years ago, start to finish, pretty much the number 1 team in the country was Arkansas.
Yeah.
Last year, start to finish, the number 1 team in the country was Tennessee.
That's right.
You're talking about that Arkansas team didn't lose a series. That Tennessee didn't lose a series last year. Like, they had a ridiculous record.
Yeah.
Now, Tennessee's come a little bit more back to earth, but it was a big, big weekend. Tickets were hard to come by.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, and man, I tell you, this team, man, this baseball team, you go into it, okay. If I would have told you in this Tennessee series that if I'd have told you weeks ago that we were gonna go into it without, of course, we don't have Wiggins, you don't have Brady Taggart,
right,
and then you're not gonna go into it without Wagner.
Arguably your 3 best players.
How would you think you would do?
I wouldn't get it. I would be nervous.
It'd be nervous, right? Well, man, these Hogs, Clint, I like this team. I really do. They just keep, they just keep coming up with ways to win. I mean, they just, they got some weak spots, here and there. But that Friday night, or the, Friday night game, you have, was it Hollis? Isn't that his name? Or Holland?
Hunter Holland.
Holland, yeah.
Hunter Holland,
Holland and Smith take care of it themselves, right? Yeah. So you just pitch 2 guys. And then the second game on Saturday, you got, I guess Wood comes in and closes it out, does just an awesome job. And then And then the last game, Dylan Carter comes in, and then another freshman, what's his name? Fouch. He comes in, dude. He's throwing 96.
Yeah.
Now, I did read something the other day that Hunter Holland, after here a couple weeks ago, he gathered up all the freshman pitchers and gathered them together and said, "Guys, we got to grow up quick." Said, "This is, we got to have y'all," and that they've responded. That's one of the reasons they've responded. That's why you've seen Wood and Dylan Carter and Fouch and them. So that's really cool. Callie, we everybody wrote him off after that first series down in Texas.
Yeah.
Well,
we talked to Tigert about him, and Tigert's like, "Look, you have no idea what this man can do."
Yeah.
Because he just had a bad week.
And by the way, not to toot my own horn, but toot, homeboy. I said at the end when I asked Tiger that question, I said he ain't gonna be like that all year, is he? And then Tiger said no. He said he's like you said, he's not gonna. And sure enough, man, he too good of a player, man. He's and playing good defense at third base. I'm excited to see how it continues. This week they're playing UCA right now. Then they're going to play who is it this weekend?
Georgia, I do believe.
And then they got Missouri. They go to Missouri State next Tuesday. And then anyway, so yeah, they're just Dave Van Horn's continuing to do it, man. And if these guys can keep stepping up like they're doing and keep pitching like they're doing, keep playing defense and keep getting, the other thing is they're getting big hits.
They are, and they're hitting in the right spots.
And they're getting some stolen bases, which I love, man. I love seeing the stolen bases, and I think the pitch clock is helping with that.
Yeah.
It's making it a little easier to do that. So anyway,
no, but it was huge to sweep them, even though this isn't the Tennessee last year. This is still Tennessee's the top 25 team.
Yeah,
they're probably a top 16 team. They're saying it makes no sense, but the SEC's got like 6 teams that are top 5 teams.
Yeah.
That they're just, that LSU, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and I think maybe Florida, that they're good baseball teams.
Yeah.
I think Arkansas's got 3 very winnable series left, and they closed the season with South Carolina and Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
So I think you're definitely going to see Arkansas. You're definitely going to see them in the College World Series, at least playoff. You want to get to Omaha.
Yeah.
You always want to get to Omaha. But I think we're in the driver's seat to host a regional. Be a super host. So,
and we'll be talking a lot more baseball next week. Hopefully, the plan is right now to have Parker Rowland, the catcher, on the podcast. So
he's related to Wesley.
I don't know. We'll ask him. See if he's got some connections to Morrilton.
Yeah.
I'm looking
forward to talking to him. It's going to be.
Yeah, man. I mean,
he told us, like, you've got to get this guy on.
Yeah. And he's I think he kind of connected well with Michael Turner. Michael Turner kind of welcomed him in, worked out with him a little bit, and so it'll be good to hear from him, kind of hear his story a little bit, get to know him a little better. And the catchers do so much, man. They do so much, and so it'll be interesting to hear from him. Now, with all that, Clinton, we don't have much time. Okay, we're probably about to run over our time here, but The basketball team, man, just keeps adding these portal people.
Yeah.
And he keeps adding guards.
Right. You had one of the Mitchell twins hit the portal.
Yeah.
Devo looks like he's going to go pro.
Yeah.
Imani's eligibility's up. And then you had, you're waiting to hear what Walsh is going to do.
Barry Dunning is gone.
Barry Dunning hit the portal. And I don't know. I wonder if Barry. Anyway, I don't want to go into it. I'm going to stop myself. Stop it.
Yeah.
Just tell me to stop. But yeah, bringing a lot of guards. I think you see you're losing. You don't think Devo's coming back at this point with some of the guys he's brought in.
Yeah.
Devo must have got some good feedback, or Devo's going to play overseas. Who knows?
Yeah.
But definitely a lot. I think there's a lot more scoring out of the guards.
Well, every one of these guys are scorers, Clint. They're all, every one of them, if you looked at them, there's every one of them are, well, I don't know how many of them are point guards. A lot of them are point guards.
Yeah.
And they're all shoot a high percentage from the field.
Right.
They all shoot, except for the guy from Louisville. I think they all shoot like 35% or better from the 3-point line. And they all shoot close to like 80-something% from the free throw line.
Yeah.
So he's getting guys that can create, that can move, that are, they're all, 6'3"-ish, 6'1". There's a couple, I think there's one guy 6'1", but they're 6'3", 6'2", somewhere in there. They're athletic guys. They all seem fast.
Yeah.
They all seem athletic and fast. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be a different kind of team. This last year we were tall and lanky and long, and it's going to be probably a little more helter skelter with these guys. I'm guessing.
No, and I think most of your ball handlers are going to be more upperclassmen now, and I think he wanted it that way.
You're still waiting to hear what Walsh is going to do.
Yeah, I think Walsh is the only other one that you really got to worry about. What's he going to do? I definitely think he should come back.
No, I think so too. I think we need him to come back because we're losing. Losing
a lot. You're losing. Ricky Council went pro, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Ricky Council, Devo.
You don't have. Well, and he's a guy that can guard smaller or bigger.
Yeah.
Because he's so long armed, and really you're kind of getting low on big guys too. So.
Well, the 2 5-stars they bring in are kind of bigger guys, if I'm not mistaken.
One of them is.
Okay, yeah,
one of them's a point guard. One of them's a center. So, anyway.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. You Musselman, I think he'll figure it out.
Yeah. It's interesting to see, man.
And that being said, guys, from kind of going, sometimes you don't need to rag on the kids. Sometimes they're told to transfer.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm just going to be that.
And I think that's happening a lot right now. I think Muss is creating his roster right now. I think he's treating this like a G League, and he's just putting together his roster.
Yeah.
I think whether guys stay or go is up to Muss. I don't think it's up to them.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. I think he's telling them what he thinks is best for them. But I think it's, which in some ways is sad to me because it's business more than team.
Well, who was that guard that went from Arkansas, not Malik Monk, the other one that went to Kentucky?
Oh,
was it Archie?
Archie Manning.
Archie Manning. What I was told, Archie Manning wanted to come back for his sophomore year.
Archie Griffin. Yeah.
Archie Griffin told him no.
Yeah.
He said no. He goes, I've got that spot filled. I can't have you. I don't got a spot for you.
Yeah.
I mean, even back then it happened. And the transfer portal wasn't a thing back then. Who knows?
Yeah.
Archie may have transferred to Arkansas.
Yeah.
And then everybody would have forgiven him. And then he might not.
Yeah.
But no, I think that happens probably a lot more than everyone realizes. You're going to have, you're going to have the players that just kick you in the gut, like when Mike Woods or Trey Knox transferred.
Yeah.
So, but then you're going to, sometimes it's like, okay, your playing time's going to get cut. No, you don't get a spot for you.
Yeah.
So don't always just rag on the kid. It ain't always them looking for greener pastures. It's more of a business than it ever has been.
That's right. And the coaches are seeing it as a business because that's their job.
Yeah.
That's their job on the line, and they got to win. So anyway, well, Clint, real quick, what are you watching?
Man, I've watched Florida Man. Watched that entire series.
I haven't watched that.
It's mid. It's not that great, but I started watching it, so I was like, I finished. Man, I watched that. I did watch Manhunt on the Boston Marathon bomber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did.
Was that pretty good?
It was good. It was good. I did enjoy that. The crazy thing about it was I was actually in Times Square like the week after that.
Yeah.
That weekend. And apparently those guys' plans were they were going to set the bomb off at Boston. Then they were going to do one in Times Square. And I was in Times Square that weekend.
Yeah.
So it's kind of wild to think about. Like, oh,
yeah,
you were close to it.
But I think they were going to drive straight there and do it. They were going to do it that same.
It would have ruined my trip.
Like a day later.
I mean, I say that like it would have been like, oh, my trip was ruined. Like that had been the worst part of it. Obviously, people lost their lives. I'm not trying to make lots of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would have been hurt. But I mean, I'd have been inconvenienced slightly. But it's just it was sad to think about that. Such an event and the way Boston rallied after that.
Yeah. That. Did you watch that Mark Wahlberg movie about that?
I don't think I did because it had Mark Wahlberg in it.
Oh, okay. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
But what have you been watching, my friend?
Well, I've been watching one just to kill time is Tough as Nails.
I haven't watched that, but I got something I wanted to ask you about.
It's a reality show, and it's
that's the one with Mike Rowe in it.
No, it's the guy from The Amazing Race, the host from The Amazing Race. But it's what they do is they take people that work like regular jobs, like concrete workers or welders or construction workers or whatever, nurse, whatever, and then they put them in these positions where they just do manual labor work and compete.
Yeah.
But they don't kick anybody out. But
you're like me, quit.
But what they do is they put them into two teams and they can win money for their team. They can win like $2,000 a contest each. So like $12,000 for their team. And then there's 6 per team or whatever. But then there's a individual contest to be the main champion. And the individual champion wins like $200,000 in like a brand new, like Ford Super Duty truck. Okay. And so you can get eliminated from the individual contest, but you still stay around for the team contest and you can still make money. And a lot of the people are people that, man, they're just salt of the earth people, and they do like different things. Some of them get to do things that they're used to doing, like they'll do construction stuff and, a guy will be a construction worker. So he's, doing it, something he knows about, or they're, maybe a construction worker and he's having to do work on a shrimp boat or something for part of it. And so they end up doing some things that they're not used to doing or whatever.
Yeah. So,
but here's the other one I'm watching.
I'm going to ask you about something. Let me interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Okay. Go ahead.
They did basically on Netflix, they did a Alone knockoff.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it was, but basically it made me hate everyone. Like in Alone, you're really pulling, but you have to like be in a team. It's like Alone, but a team of 4.
I told you about that.
Did you? They're the worst people alive, Travis.
Aren't they? When
They're
those girls?
Yes.
They're horrible.
Like they're like, this guy's crazy. I'm like, I would have burned all my crap too.
Yeah, it was terrible, man. I mean, yeah. I mean, I was like, did that really just happen? Are they really doing that? Like it was, yeah. I'm one. I told you about that.
I did, yeah. You probably did, and I don't remember.
I mean, it was like I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, the other thing I'm watching right now, Clint, is American Idol.
Yeah.
And a couple of things I want to give you a challenge. If you watch American Idol, just turn it on sometime.
Okay.
And look for a couple of things. Okay.
All right.
First of all, one of the more popular contestants might be my son. I don't know. There's really no chance of that. But if we were walked in a room together, people would say, "Is this your boy?"
Yeah.
Okay. He's a big Hawaiian kid. Okay. Secondly, they have a guy that plays bass in the band. And he's always right behind, like right in the middle of the stage where he's, he's in the camera, a lot of times when the competitors are singing. And especially like when they did this Hawaii show where on stage or whatever. Every time I see him, I think, oh, good, Colin Kaepernick has a job. Because he looks like Colin Kaepernick.
Looks just like him.
He's got, especially from a distance. Now, up close, he may not look like him at all.
Right.
But he's got the Colin Kaepernick fro, got a mustache. And so, anyway, just get a good laugh out of that. But what I was going to say is there's 2 Arkansas ladies have made the top. Well, they've made the top 26. I don't know if they'll make the top 20 or not. But one, Lucy Love, she's from Holly Grove, Arkansas, which is kind of by Clarendon. She's a single mom with 2 kids, comes from kind of poverty, but just one of these people it's easy to root for because, she's totally out of her element, but she can sing. And she can, she's doing a good job, and she's just got a great personality. She's just real lively and a lot of fun, but she's representing the state well. And then there's another one named Mary Beth Fisher, I think is her last name. She's from up around Jonesboro. She's going to be a country star no matter what.
Okay.
Like whether she wins or not, she's going to be
good.
Yeah. She's like 24. She's like a radio DJ up there for a radio station or something. And
the thing about American Idol is they've launched careers. That's where it sets itself apart from The Voice.
Yeah.
I mean, The Voice, you've never had anything. I did think of a funny story because, you'd always watch these like watch parties.
Yeah.
Show these watch parties for people from this town on American Idol. They're huge. Yeah. I remember they did a watch party for a contestant on The Voice. Had like Daniel Crawford and like 4 other people there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so bad. I'm like, I wouldn't even cut to that.
Yeah.
Like it was just bad. I don't even remember who the contestant was, but Travis, we made it to another one.
Another one, baby. Folks, like and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Like us, share us, all those good things. If you like what you see, if you got questions, interact with us on social media, in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking. We like to hear that stuff. Clint, been a good one, buddy.
Booka.
Booyaka.
619.
We out.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen. wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard drive so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I